It started with a message that wasn't meant for me. Late one night, while scrolling through old emails, I noticed a new unread message sitting quietly in my inbox. The subject line simply read, "You shouldn't have opened this." I assumed it was spam, maybe some poorly grainy and almost impossible to make out at first. But when I adjusted the brightness, I felt my stomach drop. It was a picture of my house, not from the street, but from inside my backyard. The angle suggested whoever took it was standing right behind my fence. My heart started pounding. I rushed to the window and pulled back the curtain, expecting to see someone staring back at me. But the yard was empty, silent. I checked the timestamp on the image. It had been taken just minutes before the email was sent. That's when my phone buzzed again. Another message had arrived. This time the subject line read, "Look closer." My hands trembled as I opened it. There was another image attached. I hesitated before clicking it, already dreading what I might see. When it loaded, I felt a chill crawl down my spine. It was the same picture but zoomed in. And this time I noticed something I had completely missed before. In the reflection of my kitchen window, there was a figure standing inside the house. Butching. My breath caught in my throat. I slowly turned around, scanning every corner of the room. Behind me, nothing. No movement, no sound. I grabbed a knife from the kitchen counter, my hands shaking uncontrollably. The silence in the house felt suffocating. I checked every room, every closet, even under the beds. Nothing. But deep down I knew something wasn't right. As I returned to the living room, my laptop screen flickered. A new message appeared. This time there was no subject line, just a single sentence in the body. "I'm still here." I didn't sleep that night. Couldn't. Every creak of the house, every whisper of wind against the windows made me jump. Kept all the lights on, and sat in the corner of my living room, clutching the knife like it was the only thing keeping me alive. Around 3:12 a.m. my phone buzzed again. Another message. I stared at the screen, debating whether to open it. But I already knew I would. Had to. This time. There was no image, just a short video clip. My finger hovered over the play button for what felt like an eternity before I finally tapped. The video started in complete darkness. Then slowly a faint light appeared. It looked like a hallway. My hallway. The camera moved forward, step by step, as if someone was walking through my house. I could hear faint breathing in the background. Heavy. Uneven. The video ended abruptly when the camera reached my bedroom door. My heart was racing so fast it hurt. I hadn't moved from the living room. So who was filming that? I forced myself to stand up, every instinct screaming at me to run instead. The hallway felt longer than usual as I approached my bedroom. The door was slightly open, just enough to see darkness inside. I reached out and pushed it slowly. The hinges creaked loudly, echoing through the house. The room was empty, or at least it looked that way. But something felt off. The air was colder, heavier. I stepped inside cautiously, scanning every corner. That's when I noticed the closet door. It was open just a few inches. I was sure I had closed it earlier. My grip tightened around the knife as I walked toward it. Each step felt like it took forever. When I finally reached the door, I pulled it open in one quick motion. Just clothes hanging quietly, swaying slightly as if they had been disturbed. Moments before, I let out a shaky breath, trying to calm myself. Maybe I was imagining things. Maybe this was all some kind of elaborate prank. But then my phone buzzed again. And this time, the message came with a single word. "Turn around." Froze. Every muscle in my body locked in place. Slowly, against my better judgment, I turned around. First I saw nothing, just the dimly lit room behind me. But then, in the far corner, something shifted. A shadow detached itself from the darkness. It was tall, unnaturally tall, and its limbs looked too long for its body. It didn't move like a person. It glided slowly, silently toward me. My breath caught in my throat. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. The figure tilted its head slightly, as if studying me. Then it took another step forward. That was enough to break me out of my paralysis. Ran. I didn't care where. I just needed to get out of that room. I sprinted down the hallway, nearly slipping as I turned the corner into the living room. I grabbed my keys and rushed toward the front door. But when I tried to open it, it wouldn't budge. It was locked from the outside. My heart sank as I realized I was trapped. Panic set in. I pulled at the door again and again, but it wouldn't open. Behind me, I could hear it now. Slow, deliberate footsteps echoing down the hallway, getting closer. I turned around, backing away from the door, my hands shaking violently. The lights flickered once, twice, and then went out completely. The house was plunged into darkness. I fumbled for my phone, using its faint glow to see the footsteps up. The silence that followed was worse than the noise. It felt like the entire world had paused, waiting. Then my phone buzzed again. I looked down at the screen. Another message. "Why are you running?" My chest tightened. The light from my phone suddenly dimmed, as if something was blocking it. Slowly I raised my head, and there it was, standing right in front of me, so close I could feel its presence. Its face, or what should have been its face, was completely blank. No eyes, no mouth, just smooth pale skin. And yet I could feel it looking at me. I don't remember falling. One moment I was standing there, frozen in terror, and the next I was on the floor, gasping for air. When I opened my eyes, the figure was gone. The lights were back on. Everything looked normal. Too normal. For a moment, I wondered if it had all been some kind of nightmare. But then I noticed my phone lying next to me. The screen was still on, and there on the display was the last message I had received. Only now it had changed. The words were different. "You're not awake yet." Cold wave of realization washed over me. I looked around the room again, more carefully this time. Something felt off. The colors were slightly muted. The shadows didn't fall the way they should. It was subtle, but it was enough to make my skin crawl. I stood up slowly, my legs unsteady. If I wasn't awake, then where was I? And more importantly, how do you wake up from something like this? Me remained unchanged, eerily still and silent. My phone buzzed again. Another message. "There's only one way out." My hands trembled as I opened it. This time there was an image. It showed me, lying on the floor of my living room, unconscious, completely still. The angle suggested the picture was taken from above, like someone was standing over my body. My stomach twisted. I looked down at my own hands, then back at the image. If that was my body, then what was I? The message updated again. "Find yourself." Sudden noise echoed from somewhere deeper in the house. A low dragging sound, like something being pulled across the floor. Swallowed hard, forcing myself to move toward it. Each step felt heavier than the last. Closer I got, the louder the sound became. It was coming from the basement. I stood at the top of the basement stairs, staring into the darkness below. The air was thick, suffocating. The dragging sound had stopped, replaced by a faint whispering I couldn't quite understand. I gripped the railing tightly and took the first step down. Then another. And another. The stairs creaked loudly beneath my weight, echoing through the silence. When I reached the bottom, I saw it. My body, lying in the center of the room, exactly like in the image. Motionless. Ill. I approached slowly, my heart pounding. As I got closer, I noticed something else. Standing behind my body was that same figure. Watching. Waiting. It tilted its head again, as if inviting me closer. My instincts screamed at me to run, but I knew this was it. This was the only way out. I stepped forward, reaching out toward my body. The moment my fingers made contact, everything went black. I woke up gasping for air, sprawled on the floor of my living room. The lights were on. The house was quiet. Normal. For a long moment I just lay there trying to process what had just happened. Slowly I sat up and looked around. Everything seemed real this time. Solid. Unchanging. My phone was lying beside me. I hesitated before picking it up. Part of me didn't want to know. But I had to check. The screen was blank. No messages. No images. Nothing. Just as I began to feel a small sense of relief, the screen flickered. A new notification appeared. My heart sank as I read the subject line. Welcome back. My hands started shaking again. I didn't open it. Couldn't. Because deep down I already knew the truth. Whatever had been inside my house that night, whatever had been watching me, it hadn't left, had just been waiting. And now that I had come back, it knew exactly where to find me.